masters of horror.
Welcome to the Scariest Things Podcast, your gateway to the trends and tropes of the horror genre. Once again, it's Spooky Time episode 16. And for our Sweet 16, we have a sweet guest.
Yes.
And replacing Robert and Mike, we have made an improvement
I
with
think we have.
Gwen Callahan, our good friend from the Portland Horror Film Festival, is here because we're about ready to kick off the next year of Portland Horror Film Festival.
Yes.
What is this? Is year what?
8. This is the 8th annual.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right, and we've been there for 5 of them, or 6 of them. This will be my 6th.
Nice.
6th Portland Horror Film Festival. I can date myself relative for the podcasting relative to how long we've been doing the Portland Horror Film Festival, because it's almost concurrent.
Yep.
Which is, it's always been a treat for us. And this is, I think that we reached out through Liz, because this is, again, this is the classic Eric and Liz story of me meeting Liz in New Orleans. Liz saying, "Hey, I have a good friend who runs a horror film festival in Portland."
If I had to lose you to Portland, I might as well hook you up with cool Portland people. Eric, what's the horror movie version of a meet cute? Because that's what we had.
I can't think. I'll ponder that. If I come up with that's a great question. I don't know.
Figure that out.
It's much easier to come up with gas station horror than meet cute horror.
Than meet cute horror.
So, anyhow, for this evening's episode, we're going to divulge all things Portland Horror Film Festival, because we've got a bunch of great films coming up, and we would love to have Gwen talk to us about what's coming. So, Gwen, give our audience out there the formal Portland Horror Film Festival description.
Oh my God. How long do you have? It's like
as long as you want.
Yeah.
We're cutting you off at 25 minutes.
Okay, it's not in my nature to be brief, but I'll try.
Mike's not here. You can talk.
Our official timekeeper is at home. You have usurped.
All right, I'm
he
turning
was
over
the
my
former
little-
mayor.
Yeah.
I need a little egg timer. Okay, Portland Horror Film Festival is Portland's premier horror film festival. We play all genres of horror. What we really look for is fresh takes on old tropes. People who are doing something different or have something interesting or new to say, and do it through the horror genre. We try really hard to make sure that our program offering is diverse and representative. So we have outreach programs for BIPOC filmmakers, women filmmakers, queer filmmakers. This year we have a really great mix of lots and lots of women directors this year. Lots of them are coming and are going to be in attendance for their Q&As. Lots of queer horror this year, so we're excited about that, since June is typically Pride Month everywhere else, except for, I think it's in July in Portland this year.
Portland's keeping it weird for no reason.
Keeping it weird.
Yeah. I think they were tired of bumping into Rose Festival and competing for all the hotel room space and all that stuff, and permits for parades and things like that. But we've been doing this for 8 years. We've grown from a 2 weekday festival to a 5-day festival, going from Wednesday, June 7th this year, through Sunday, June 11th. And we actually are in 2 venues. We are at the Hollywood Theater Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 7 to 11. And then we're at the historic Clinton Street Theater on Saturday and Sunday with matinees and evening shows. The Hollywood Theater is a gorgeous movie palace. 1926, I think, is when it was built, and it's been kind of steadily restored over the years. The Clinton Street Theater is a slightly smaller auditorium, but it is I think, one of the oldest and longest running movie theaters in the United States at this point, and I'm
Cool.
pretty sure it's the movie theater that has had the longest continuous running of Rocky Horror Picture Show. And so they
Yes.
do that every Saturday night.
Yeah.
So
I still remember, I think I was 20 when I caught it at the Clinton Street Theater. I don't
So,
really
folks,
remember
you
it
don't
because I
want to
had,
know how long it's been going on.
yeah, that's like at least 33 years running, because
Ooh.
that's when I saw it. And it probably goes back to 70, 77, 78 or something like that. But yeah, it's been going on for a very long time. Proud tradition at the Clinton Street Theater.
yep.
Awesome.
And I believe they still they still show it on 35 millimeter. So that's
Yes.
that is
There's,
super fun.
I think they compete head to head, but there's another theater in Seattle which has a pretty long running version of that. But we're not here to talk about Seattle. We're here to talk
Here
about the
about
Portland Horror
Seattle.
Film
We're here to
Festival.
talk about Portland. All right,
And,
so Wednesday, June 7th is when y'all are kicking it off at the Hollywood, and we've got a Pacific Northwest feature premiere and a ton of shorts blocks. That is one thing that we always rely on Portland Horror Film Festival for, is the veritable cornucopia of shorts. And you said you have like 60 this year?
Yes. 60
out of how
short
many
films.
submissions?
Ooh, a lot.
Oh gosh, over 400 submissions.
So
Ooh.
it has been thoroughly curated and vetted for you, taking
7
from
blocks of shorts. Yep.
and it is horror
8
short
really.
heaven. It is
Mhm.
I will say that Gwen and Brian do the best curation of their short films out of any of the film festivals that I go to.
Because
or
of
that
their
we do.
really
Oh,
good looking
thank you.
panel of judges. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
It is. They're good looking and
Brian.
very intelligent panel of
Oh,
judges.
Brian,
And
if you're not
Brian.
here, sorry.
Actually, Brian is quite dashing, and he
Yes,
has
he
a
is, always.
he has a fabulous selection of very cool, colorful sports coats that he will bring out.
And
So,
ties.
yes.
He's always dressed to the nines. All right, so kicking it off on Wednesday night, we've got some short films with Q&A with filmmakers, and then the Pacific Northwest premiere of Black Mold, which I know Eric is looking forward to.
That's excellent.
Gwen.
Oh, one thing I just want to note about the short films is that sometimes I've seen festivals that do like a themed night, so they'll have like zombie short films and like slasher short films. We don't do that because it's hard to, I don't know, it's hard for me to like decide when we're selecting films. It's kind of limiting because you have to have a certain number for each shorts block. And we like to, if you can only come one night, we want to give you like a taste of everything. We want to give you a variety of different genres, different vibes, different kinds of directors. So when you come, it's kind of a smorgasbord of different styles of short films from different countries as well.
I really appreciate that, because I think changing up the pace is important. Because there are sometimes if you go in there and they're nothing but hard-hitting, visceral, downer ones, they're important. Those are usually some of the best ones there, but you can only take so many of those in a row before you're just beaten. So it's great that you'll follow it up with like a horror comedy, and then change, from lots of representation from all over the world. How many countries do we have represented? You recall?
17 countries this year.
Nice.
Sweet.
Including a really cool film from Iran that's kind of a folk horror. Nice. Don't go in the basement kind of stuff. Ooh. Like stop messing with that thing.
The Iranians can, when they can get the films out, can give us some really cool stuff. I'm a big fan of Under the Shadow, and actually The Night, which was my favorite film from the pandemic year, 2020, I think it was when it came out. So yeah, the Iranian. Oh, and we saw Zalava. That's another great one. That was a great one. That was cool.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah, Iranian horror.
So we've got Black Mold. That's going to be our opening feature film. And that is the story of photographers Brooke and Tanner, who find themselves stranded in an abandoned location, pitted against an unsuspecting squatter and the dangers that lie deep within the dark halls and corridors of the building. So this will be our Pacific Northwest premiere. This one has been at a couple other festivals and is getting really good buzz. So I think for the Pacific Northwest, this is a great way to open the festival.
Yeah, I think this
Now
this one has the potential to be big.
I'm excited about Thursday night because Thursday is the Asian horror double feature.
Yay!
So we're going to have a South Korean film and a Japanese film. And the first one is the world premiere of Shabak, The Night of Murder and Romance from South Korea. And this one is described as a psychological horror with a serial killer. So that is up my alley. And the description is, on their first wedding anniversary, a couple ventures into the mountains for a romantic Shabak, which is a car camping trip. But their idyllic getaway turns into a living nightmare when they unknowingly cross paths with a bloodthirsty psychopath. The couple must confront the truth before it's too late. Yes, that is perfectly up my alley. And then some other shorts.
This is the Korean one?
This is from South Korea. Mm-hmm. And then the U.S. premiere from Japan, Love Will Tear Us Apart, which if you're watching on Zoom, these lovely ladies are from Love Will Tear Us Apart. This is
been in a blood bath because they covered their whole.
This is a throwback though to like the really great J horror of the early 2000s. It's offering something new, but it has the feeling of 2000s J horror. So I'm excited for you guys in the audience to see this.
Now, did you judge this one,
I did.
Liz? Or so you were one of the curators to get this film into the festival, because that is the other secret. Liz is a part of the selection committee for Portland Horror Film Festival.
And this one is really, really good. Everybody's going to be excited. Gwen, Asian horror.
Asian
fan?
Horror,
yes, obviously.
Huge.
But I love that y'all
Asian
are doing
fan.
like a whole night. So I know you had said you don't like with your shorts, you try to mix them all together, but I like that you've separated kind of the festival into like, we had an Asian horror night, and then the next night is going to be a satanic panic kind of themed night. So if people have not already bought their pass for the entire weekend and they said, oh, I really want to do this night, they can get tickets and just hang out for the day.
Yeah. Totally.
There is some of the best pop.
The best popcorn. Seriously,
the
Hollywood Theater
popcorn in the,
has the best popcorn
God, the
in
best
the whole
popcorn.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, I actually went to they had like a day where you could order it ahead of time, go pick it up, and I totally got like the bucket was like bigger than my head, and I brought it home and
I would have
I
eaten
ate the
it in
whole
the car.
thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it took me all day, but I ate the whole thing, and
I'm not sure what they do differently,
glorious.
but
it's
really
superior
good
popcorn. I remember the first time we went up for a festival and I said, oh, we really missed the popcorn, and Gwen was like, it's award-winning popcorn, like it really is.
It's like always
it's so
voted
good.
best popcorn in Portland.
Yeah.
And you can have pizza and beer
the
in the
hole.
theater at the Hollywood theaters. So yes.
Oh, it's a great theater. All right,
so I just want to note there are 3 short films that are playing in between those 2 films, and one of them is not Asian horror, but the director is going to be here for a Q&A after that little shorts block, and that director is David J. Steve, who is the creator and director of Behind the Mask, the rise of Leslie Vernon.
Eric, if you do not get an interview, we're not friends anymore. I love that movie. Oh,
yeah, he's gonna be there, and this short film takes place in that same universe.
Oh God, Gwen, you're gonna have to tell. You have to let Amy know, because that's one of her favorite movies.
Yes,
fans of Leslie Vernon need to come on Thursday night just for that. And then we have 2 other short films. One is actually from South Korea, another director from South Korea, and one is from Mai Nakanishi, who won Best Short in 2019 with Hana. And her new short is called Swallow, and it's Taiwan, I think it's a Taiwan Singapore joint production, but it's incredible. So
That
And the
sounds like an
director,
awesome
actually, the
night.
director, William In-hyuk Young of Shabak, he's planning on being at the festival with us for the world premiere.
Yay.
So people will get to meet him and talk to him.
Right on.
Awesome. All right. So then Friday night, we go to our Satanic Panic double feature night, kicking off with a documentary, Satan Wants You. And this one, Mike of the Scariest Things got to check out at South by Southwest where it premiered. So Provenance, these are hitting, like, this is big festival stuff. And is getting really, really good reviews because it's not everything that you already know about the Satanic Panic. It's a little bit more nuanced. Then some amazing shorts and the Pacific Northwest premiere of, and I'm corrections from last time, it's Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls, not the Book of Shadows. I was Blair Witching it last time. The Talisman of Souls. Oh my God. I cannot wait for Mike and Eric and the rest of the audience to see this movie in a packed house. This movie is so funny.
It really is. It's like funnier than it has any right to be.
Yes.
And most of it, I think, is Andrew Bowser is the writer and director. Andrew Bowser is just so he really taps into some kind of like core in the soul of every nerd or every like fan out there. If you participate in any kind of fandom, I think you will appreciate this movie. And even if you don't, it's still very funny.
Well, it's Jeffrey Combs and
Yes.
Barbara Crampton too.
Yeah.
So I mean,
come on.
And Barbara Crampton is hilarious in this film.
It's a great cast. It is a
oh my
lot
gosh.
of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
very,
And
very silly.
Mirren Arden from Satanic Panic, Chelsea.
Yes. Chelsea.
Oh my God, what's her last name?
Chelsea
Stardust.
Stardust. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Chelsea
wow.
Stardust,
Okay.
Satanic
Yeah.
Panic. So she's in this and she's fantastic as well.
It's
She-
so much fun.
Chelsea's Stardust did or did you just say
Satanic Panic.
Satanic
Yeah, the one with
Satanic Panic.
yeah.
The one that we saw
Rebecca
at
Romaine.
with Rebecca Romaine. Yes, not
Totally
Stamos,
fun movie,
just
that
Romaine.
one.
Okay, Saturday, y'all move over to the Clinton Street Theater and are pretty much there all day long. 12
noon until
to
9.
9. Yep, with a ton of shorts. And then we've got the Portland premiere of Puppet Killer. This is another very silly horror comedy, but it's a lot of fun. Gwen, what are your thoughts on Puppet Killer?
Puppet Killer is like I was like watching this and like, oh my God, it's like Evil Nemo or Evil Elmo.
Yes, it is.
It's like Murder Me Elmo. When we first started watching it, we were like, we had that reaction of, and I'm not really spoiling anything because there's a lot of reviews out there that already talk about this, and you're gonna see it right away. But you remember how in Greece all the people playing teenagers were like in their late 20s and early 30s?
They're like literally in high school.
This takes that to the nth degree.
Yeah.
And
so that's all I'm really gonna say about that.
In a fourth wall kind of a way.
Oh yeah.
No. In terms of like age appropriate, like they are not anywhere near being teenagers.
Yeah.
So
right.
We all know that actors in Hollywood play characters that are younger than themselves, and in this case, it's like it's extreme. So
someone
it's
our
really
age.
good. It's really good.
Yes, playing like a high school senior.
The kill scenes are all really fun. Gigi Saul Guerrero is hilarious in it as well.
The puppet's pretty good too.
The puppet performer, whoever was doing the puppet, did a really, really great job.
I was telling Gwen that I've been reading or listening to Grady's latest How to Sell a
You're not going to be in a good place.
The How to Sell a Haunted House in a Down Market, which has puppet horror to just it is actually, so I'm totally grooving to some more puppety horror.
Eric will be underneath the seat, cowering.
Yeah.
going,
Well,
Stop.
it's just it's a bit much. I actually have I got a clown doll from Toink from Killer Clowns, and he has to stay downstairs because he's not allowed to kill me in the middle of the night.
Yes,
That's the
wise.
plan.
Wise.
All right.
Oh,
Eric,
but also
what's
importantly,
happening Saturday night?
Saturday night after at 9 o'clock, you can join me as I'm running the horror movie Greenlight pitch, which we debuted at Crypticon. What feels like yesterday, but it was I think 2 weeks ago. And this is the let's make a horror movie together by way of a horror fantasy draft where you get to pick your directors and your cast and your tropes, and then you write yourself a movie in 15 minutes and you pitch it. And everybody who's played it has just been dying to do it again. In fact, I think there's at least 3 people who said they're going to do it again at Dots across the street from the Clinton Theater. So this is an all-day event, folks. You start at noon, you watch movies until 9, and then you get some food at Dots, and then you get to celebrate by making your own movie with me and all of your scariest buddies who sat through the movies together. So yeah, that's gonna be totally fun, and I am so happy that Gwen and Brian invited me to do this event at their festival. We're hoping that this thing takes off across festivals across the country because it's a blast. It's a lot of fun, and it's so nice to know that the game works. We had so much fun. Anyways.
All right.
Awesome.
So then,
hey, I'm gonna back you up for a second though, because also on Saturday, in addition to the 2 mega-sized shorts blocks and Puppet Killer, we also have the Portland premiere of T Blockers, which is a queer horror monster movie mashup by director Alice Mayo McKay from Australia. And it is a nice short ass movie. It's tidy. It's got some cool monster effects and some good camp and some great representation
they've been
on screen, and it's
year.
just it's really
so
really
fun. Is that sort of in the middle of the Saturday Saturday run? Okay,
that'll be pretty much, it'll be after the first shorts block, and then we've got a few shorts that will play right before it, and then it'll probably start right around
2:20
2:40ish.
Okay.
The whole block will start at 2:20.
Okay.
And then there will be like a handful of shorts right beforehand.
And then Puppet Killer's around like 7:30 or something like that.
6:30.
Like 7.
7. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So then
Sunday,
right?
Yeah, 7.
Kicking off Sunday morning, or I guess afternoon because it's noon, with Invoking Yell. So Invoking Yell is a Chilean death metal movie.
What?
Yes. It's a whole lot of fun. It's about an all-girls death metal band that goes out into the woods to record the sounds for their album, and death metal, black mayhem ensues. They're not Norwegian, but they're close. And
it's Alpine.
It's Chile. It's really fun. It's really creative. There's definitely not another Chilean black metal horror movie out there. So
no? Okay.
Invoking Yell is a really good time. Then more and more and more shorts, blocks, and then that evening, the world premiere of Violet, another Australian feature. Directed
in the
by,
water.
Stephen, I'm not going to be able to pronounce your last name.
Stephen Mihaljevic.
Nice. Stephen Mihaljevic, thank you. And this one says, in a rural Australian town, a sick mother fears unspeakable evil will soon snatch her 11-year-old daughter, Violet. As bizarre visions and disturbing characters from the neighborhood emerge, Sonia is about to discover more than just one grisly truth. So that sounds really cool. And as we said, Australians are killing it this year.
They are killing it.
So
there's
much
a
horror
lot
coming out of Australia.
And it's a really dense movie. There's a lot in it. There's some fairy tale elements, like a lot of really striking visual imagery, along with some kind of really gritty like rural stuff with like goat horns and some childhood trauma happening, and then yeah, like just the whole
So is this in the
story
Outback?
unwinds. Nah, so she like lives in kind of a remote area, but it's not like in the outback. She's not like in the bush.
Okay.
All right.
So she
So
does live in like a suburb.
we've
And then
covered. Oh, go ahead.
so to cap off the evening, we have our now infamous Shorts Gone Wild block,
Yes.
which is the last thing that you will see at the festival. And this is a block of like the zaniest, bloodiest, funniest films that we can find in the festival.
So you're definitely not going to want to miss that one. And then you'll have
Do
an
not
awards
want to miss that.
presentation
Yep.
over at Dots, and come hang out, get some food, see the winners. Okay. So another little highlight. We know on Friday, friend of the festival who's been there before, Kelly Maroney, will be there
Yay.
with her
Yep.
Yay.
short film, The Haunted Baby Carriage. That
From
sounds
hell.
from hell. I mean, well, where else would it be from?
Doubling down.
And you also wanted to highlight another short film called Wormies, because it's made by a teenager with the help of his friends and his mom.
Oh,
It was
nice.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah. So lest
So-
you think that this is like a handheld shaky thing that like some kid did in his backyard. This kid has been his
Yeah.
name's Octavian Call, but he and his parents, who were both producers on the film, are coming down for the world premiere.
Cute.
But it really it's very evocative of like Spielberg, where you are instilled with this sort of wonder at what's happening, and it has that sort of nostalgic element to it that makes you feel like you're 12 years old watching ET again. But it's called Wormies, and lots of practical effects, SAG actors, like the production value is insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you've supported actually some other young,
Mhm.
very young directors in the past. Who was he did a with Chris Walas a
Yes.
few years ago. What
I
was his
remember
name?
on
Kai-
his list,
Kai-
his
Kai and
favorite horror
Dodie
movie was
is-
Thriller, Michael
Yeah.
Jackson video.
Yeah.
That was on his
Yeah.
I
top
think he was
25.
like 11 or 12 when he
Mhm.
made that film.
Yeah, and he was one of our top 100 contributors, as Liz
Yeah,
was mentioning.
yeah.
And he was so cool about sort of being at his world premiere, because that, and having the Oscar-winning Chris Walas helping out doesn't hurt. So, but this time, this new youngster wrote, direct, and did he do the effects himself, or what can
So
you
I
tell us
think
about?
I think that one of his sibling, I think his sister maybe, had a hand in making the props and armatures and puppets and things. I don't want to give too much away because like you just gotta see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But he was, if I'm remembering correctly, he came up with the idea when he was 14 or 15, and then wrote the script and then filmed it when he was like 16. And then it took a while for all the post-production stuff to happen, and meanwhile pandemic.
Yeah.
But he finally finished it, and he's now a college student, but I think he's like only 19.
I think that's
But when at the
Still
time
very
of
young.
making
Yeah.
the film, he was like 16, 17, just handling
wait.
everything like a
And
pro.
that's part of Shorts Block 4. So for people who can't get to Portland, who are sad and crying they're going to miss all this, fear not. There is a streaming option that starts
Yay!
on Thursday at 7:00. That's when you'll be able to log in and get your streaming items, and you'll get tons of shorts. You will be able to see Love Will Tear Us Apart. You'll be able to see Satan Wants You, the documentary, and you'll be able to see Violet. So you won't miss out on the features and the fun, and you'll get tons and tons of shorts blocks. And
Yep.
you can buy all your tickets at portlandhorrorfilmfestival.com.
So is the streaming on Film Freeway?
No,
Does it go
the
through
streaming is on
Eventive?
Eventive.
Yeah.
Eventive. Okay.
Yeah.
And they have a pretty solid platform, so
They
it's
do.
always good
Yeah.
quality. Yeah, you won't have to be, worried about not being able to get in. They have very good
Yeah.
quality streaming, and you can like download the app for your TV or your Fire TV.
Roku, Fire
Yes,
TV.
all those things.
Yeah.
And the deal with the streaming is you can buy your ticket anytime between now and I think everything's going to stay available until the 15th.
Oh, nice.
So everything will start at its scheduled time, but it'll stay available through the 15th. And then once you click play on that program, you'll have 48 hours to finish watching it. So you can buy your tickets at any time, and then kind of you have to pre-order or to unlock your program. It doesn't automatically just like put it into your library. You have to actually go use your ticket or your pass. It's like a credit to unlock each streaming program.
Yes.
And they have a really great FAQ. If you get confused, just go to their Eventive FAQ and it explains everything. It has a little setup thing in there for you to test your equipment before the festival happens, so you can make sure everything works really good. And they've got really good support as well. So if you've got like major problems, you can contact them. And if they can't help you out, they will contact us and we will help you out. So
it's
Nice.
pretty intuitive. If I can
Yeah.
do it, you can
Yeah.
do it.
Old farts like me and Liz being able to figure it out. Yeah,
we can
should
do
be able
it.
to.
Okay.
So
Gwen,
actually,
what's go ahead.
I think the other thing we'd be remiss not to mention that actually Gwen is also one of our site sponsors with the Arkham Bazaar.
Oh yes.
And so if you wanted to come ready with some gear and maybe some hot sauces, because that's one of the most amazing things that these guys do is they branded both shirts and hot sauces that go together, which is really
And
cool.
shot glasses in case you need to do shots before you get to the theater.
So are any of the Portland Horror Film Festival shirts going to be available on Arkham Bazaar for purchase?
well they'll be in the shop on the portlandhorror.com website.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's portlandhorror.com/shop. So they're not up there yet. What you see up there is last year's merch. But this year's merch will get posted probably on Monday the 12th. Because from now until the end of the festival, it's kind of a dead run where we have to get all the films together. We have to get all the Patron of Horror shirts printed and the badges made and filmmakers wrangled and the program to press and all.
So are there still Patron of Horror bundles available? Have they've all been sold out?
So the Patron of Horror ticket packages are all sold out, but we are assessing how many lapel pins we have left. So we may put up a supporter bundle, which would just be the t-shirt and the lapel pin. And we probably need to figure that out really soon here.
And their shirt quality is top notch.
So good.
Yeah.
And always the
this
best
year's
designs.
design is really cool.
Yeah.
I think.
I have all the other
But
years
then
I
yes,
need to
then the
share.
Chainsaw
poster,
Massacre
the
or Chainsaw Massacre
poster.
stuff will be the festival poster this year, and we're also making a t-shirt version, which will be a little more lo-fi, but it's going to be very cool.
Mike Campbell is going to have like 4 of those shirts. So
awesome. Gwen, thank you so much for joining us. We
Thank
want you
you guys for having
anytime,
me.
not when you're just stressed out trying to put together a festival. How about we get you back at
Yeah.
another calmer time? But
That would
we
be
love it.
amazing.
Yeah.
we'll get you.
That'd be fun.
Pick a topic. We'll do something for you because
You heard it here
Okay.
first. Gwen gets to pick a topic.
friend of the podcast, Gwen
Yes.
Callahan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gwen. And everybody gets your streaming package if you're not in the Pacific Northwest. And if you're in the Pacific Northwest, get your butt to Portland.
I will see you in the
Weekend.
theater.
Eric will be there. Bye, y'all. Good night.
Bye. Thank you.
The Masters of Horror.